Dance Arts of Columbia provides fitness fun for everyone from 3 years old to adults. Dance Arts is a good environment where the friendly staff makes you feel comfortable. Dance Arts feels that dance is an art form that you can experience firsthand by learning tap, jazz, modern, musical theater, lyrical, and ballet. Dance Arts urges you to enjoy a sense of accomplishment while getting fit and having fun. For class information, call 875-1569. Dance Arts of Columbia, serving Columbia since 1979.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, September the 7th. As always, it is a pleasure to have you with us today, especially on Labor Day.
It's Labor Day.
And I got one of my good songwriters, storytellers with us. I get my...
Go ahead and spit it out, Paul.
Thank you, Larry. Sometimes the tongue just doesn't work right. But Larry Brown is with us. Always a pleasure to have you.
Good morning.
And we were talking before we came on here. You have been a part of our programs, Pepper and Friends and Radio Friends, for over, 22 years
21,
now?
22 years, I think.
Yeah, that's a lot of stories and songs that you've shared.
It has been.
Okay.
It has been.
So you have a Labor Day story for us?
Yes, I have a story about working and the meaning of work.
Okay,
today.
So in honor of Labor Day, here is Larry Brown with a Labor Day story.
Now, this is a traditional Appalachian Ozark Jack tale. Now, Jack lived down in the Ozarks about 100 years ago with his mom and his older brothers Tom and Will, ever since their daddy went off to seek his fortune and never came back. Well, sons follow father's patterns, and so Tom and Will went off to seek their fortune and left Jack alone with Mama. And so one day Jack woke up and said, "Mama, I got to go seek my fortune." Jack's mama says, "Laws, Jack, you don't know how to do nothing. What are you going to do? You're going to have to get yourself a job." Jack said, "I will." Well, Jack took off, and it wasn't but a couple of days. He was hungry. He was knocking on a farmhouse saying he needed to work. And this farmer says, "Well, come on, Jack, you can come in and work." And Jack says, "I'm just on my way to seek my fortune, but I need to work a while." And he said, "Tell you what, Jack, I'll give you food and clothing and housing, and you won't have to worry about a thing. And see that old wash tub over there in the corner of the barn? Every day I'll throw a few coins in there, and whenever you're ready to go, you just take your money and go off to seek your fortune." Jack said he will. But you know, one day Jack woke up and he'd been working for that farmer for 7 years. Jack said, "This job is holding me back. I got to seek my fortune." So he went to the farmer and said, "I'm headed out tomorrow." And the farmer says, "Well, that's fine, Jack. Can I help you with your money?" And Jack says, "Sure." So that farmer helped Jack move this wash tub full of coins and money out to the road. And Jack started pulling that money down the road. Well, he hadn't got very far and he realized, this money is holding me back from seeking my fortune. But about that time, a fella came down the road with an old cow. Jack looked at that cow. And now, Jack didn't know that farmer was taking that cow in to sell it because it had gone dry, wasn't giving any milk. Jack didn't know that. Jack looked at that cow and looked at his money, and he said, "I'll trade you all my money for that cow. Cow won't be any trouble. Eat stuff on the side of the road. I'll get milk every day." And well, that farmer said, "Okay, it's a deal." So Jack gave him all that money and took that cow. Started leading that cow down the road. But, you know, Jack hadn't gotten very far down the road when he found out that cow was wanting to pull off and not just eat grass on the side of the road, but get into the corn. And he was pulling it back and he wasn't getting any milk. And Jack says, "This cow is holding me back from seeking my fortune." Well, about that time, he came up on this farm with this man out there with a bunch of chickens. He said, "A chicken, that's what I need." A chicken wouldn't be any trouble. Well, I'd just eat grass on the side of the road and get an egg every day. And so he traded that cow for a chicken. Well, that farmer with the chicken thought he had a good deal, and so he went off with the cow, and Jack had this chicken. Well, it didn't take very long before Jack realized chickens don't lead well, and he wasn't getting any eggs. And he said, "This chicken is holding me back from seeking my fortune." Well, he just scooped that chicken up in his hands and went right into the next little town, and there was a blacksmith working off to the side. And Jack said, "What's he doing?" Went over there, and that blacksmith was making nails. And Jack thought, "Well, I could do that. I could get a profession and make nails." He went over to that blacksmith and says, "Blacksmith, teach me how to make nails. I need a profession so I can seek my fortune." And that blacksmith looked at Jack and says, "Oh, laws, Jack. Why, there's hundreds of people out there starving, trying to make a living making nails, but I'll set you up in a job that really gets you on your way to seek your fortune." Jack says, "What's that?" He says, "Be right back." what you got to trade? And Jack says, well, I got this chicken. He says, oh, that'll do. So that fellow took the chicken, went in the house, gave a chicken to his wife, says, we're eating chicken tonight, went out into the backyard, dug up an old flint rock, washed it off, shined it up with some oil, and came out and gave Jack this rock. Jack looked at this rock and says, what this? That old blacksmith says, Jack, this is a nail straightening rock. Been in the family for generations. You just go down the road, people be saving all their bent nails, wanting somebody to come and straighten them for them, and you'll be the one. Jack says, oh, that's great, thanks, and headed off down the road. Well, every house he went to, the people says, well, we already straightened our nails, or, well, we don't have any yet, or whatever. Well, finally Jack says, this is horrible. There was a well, and he was thirsty, and he went for that well, and he set his nail straightening rock on the side of the well and lowered the bucket down in. He was bringing it up. He accidentally knocked his nail straightening rock into the well. Lost his gone. Now, most folks would be disappointed, but not Jack. He got a smile on his face. He was dancing around. He says, I must be the luckiest person of all. I thought I was going to have to go through my life dragging all that money, and then a cow, and then a chicken. I thought I was going to drag this old nail straightening rock all the way through my life. But now that it's gone, there ain't nothing stopping me from seeking my fortune.
That's a pretty good story, Larry. Oh, poor Jack.
Well, I got to thinking, a lot of the jobs I've had in my life, I've gone from one job to the next and taken a cut in wages. Next thing you know, I work up and then I take another job. And I thought, well, the history of my career has been very interesting. But the lesson I've learned is it's satisfaction that counts.
Isn't that true?
And if you're satisfied, you're seeking your fortune. And
It's
you're
exactly
finding
right.
You're finding
If you're happy, happiness is a lot more important than having a great deal of wealth.
Or whatever the job is.
Exactly.
If you're satisfied and happy. Yeah.
And that's perfect. It's perfect for Labor Day. You know, people sit and they think, and a lot of times you complain about the job that you have and you don't want to go in. You got today off, you can think about Jack there.
That's right.
But actually, listening to your story, he had made his fortune at the very beginning, and he gave it all away.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's why he's often called the wise fool, because he keeps doing foolish things, but in the end he comes up with a certain amount of wisdom about it's not in money, it's not in possessions, it's in whether or not you're seeking your fortune in a more meaningful way.
Exactly. If you want to hear more stories like this, well, Larry Brown has great stories on CD and DVD, right?
Yes.
And how can they get in touch with you?
Well, brownstory.com is my website, or if you want to email me, it's brownstory@hotmail.com. And I'll be appearing at some events and places around too in the community.
Do you have anything in particular?
Well, as a matter of fact, I'll be at Heritage Festival at the annual Ghost Telling, and that's coming up the third weekend in September.
Okay, the Heritage Festival?
Heritage Festival, yes.
Okay, the third week in September, and you will be telling ghost stories.
Yes.
And then
I'll be at Walk Back in Time in Mexico, Missouri, the next weekend after that, telling on the Saturday of Walk Back in Time.
Okay, so you can see Larry Brown, and you can pick up those CDs then too, or DVDs, right?
Sure.
Okay, Larry Brown, thank you so much for coming by.
Well, happy Labor Day.
Same to you, Larry. Same to you. Ronald McDonald House tomorrow, and River City Habitat for Humanity. Our program directed by Travis McMillan, Reynolds Journalism Institute Audio, Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director, brand new today, Kevin Casson. Welcome on board, Kevin. And our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. Bye-bye.